Hey guys, it's Melanie Hinds, your fastest Iraqi dinar somewhere on the net, where I talk about everything about the Iraqi dinar. And in the future, I will still be here to talk about the Vietnam dong, the Zim bonds, and some other foreign currencies because I'm invested in that. I'm also going to be covering cryptos as I have more time. Right now, we are trying to pull this thing in with our prayers. So please subscribe, tap the bell if you're a praying person. If you believe in your powers of manifestation, also please subscribe and tap the bell because I know who I am in Christ. Guys, we looked at all the rates. Forex has not changed. The IQD to USD Google search is still 0.00076. That's the IQD as compared to the US dollar. But if you keep an eye on the digital dinar, which is also a player in this, in their banking systems, because their banking systems are state-of-the-art, blockchain. I've been studying this, guys, for 3 years with my unique military sources. We covered 17 to 18 articles. I have a big belief in that this is almost done. They believed it was almost done. They couldn't invest in it, though. They were just giving us intel because they like, where they come from. And so we still appreciate them, and we thank them for giving us this body of evidence that I speak from every day in these summaries that nobody else has, because they don't have my mind because of my background as an auditor with Price Waterhouse. The auditors were all over Iraq. They are done with their work. They've actually met with the UST. This is coordinated political timing, according to the article I shared at the end of my live stream this morning. I've shared it before. But the digital dinar that runs their blockchain-based, AI-run banking system, which is the key to their security and their safety in Iraq. We've done an article, some of you might remember, if you remember, we did the article where the AI is running all the transportation systems, running the borders. It's everywhere. The IQD, the digital Iraqi dinar on Handle Forex, not compared to the US dollar, just on its own, is 107. Now, we've seen it as high as 260 something on its own on here, but now it's at 107. It was 141 just the other day, so I felt led to check it this morning. So that's where that's at. That's that digital dinar. I'm not suggesting you invest in the digital Iraqi dinar. I only hold the foreign currencies, the paper dinar that we are looking to be able to exchange. I give you 3 steps to a safe exchange. Pinned comment down below. There's also a redemption centers that people can get tuned into if you're tuned into it. If not, look at the pinned comment down below. So I look at the breaking news coming out of Iraq. Even though our military has gone kind of silent, I still am in communication with the retired colonel, he's a Forex trader, as well as he does a new online radio program, which we support him in that. He was profiled on my Zooms for my member side of my channel, where I talk more exclusively on Zooms every Monday at 11. He was profiled January 15th. So if you're a Miracle Manifestation member of my membership side or more, you can go listen to that. You can hear from him yourself. Then he was profiled again on August 25th when he revealed to me the Forex letter that it's preloaded on Forex on the telemetry layers, meaning layers that are not public yet, at $4.81 and 01. That's why I say 481, okay? So the Shafak News said U.S. stocks climb after payrolls beat forecast. Everybody's looking at everybody else's thing. Iraq is among top Middle Eastern suppliers of LPG to India. That was a good article that I covered in detail. China expects trade with Iraq to expand. Of course they do. They're the ones that funded Iraq to rebuild anyway, but now they're expecting trade with Iraq to expand. How's that going to happen when they have a valuable currency? They can't do it right now because Iraq still has a nominal value, only tradable in Iraq. It's not tradable on any foreign currency exchanges, meaning they cannot do any global trade with their currency, right? So they're waiting. Everybody's waiting, but they did do MOUs. We followed all their MOUs. There was over 1,000 MOUs after his tour of the U.S., where he got more contracts for the U.S. to be in Iraq. Guys, and now we know it's all about coordinated political timing. That's where we come from. Also, God told me to tell you it was done. If you believe in God, then you should be subscribing and tapping the bell, because I'm the Truth, Facts, and Optimism channel. I also teach you how to hear from God for yourself, so you don't fall prey to the rise of the false prophets, which has been prophesied in these end times. I think it's the end times. What do you think? I think it must be, since, they nominated or they elected a mayor of the largest budget in America, and he's Muslim. I mean, he's radical too. He's not just Muslim. He's a global intifada person. So, New York, I pray for you, but you guys voted, so whatever. Comment down below. I talked about that on my live stream. If you want to know more about that, I talked about that on my live stream. Very open-minded, very shook by that election, as a lot of people were. If you were, comment down below. It was very disturbing to be an American citizen and love your freedoms and to be born in 1965 and know the truth, and the truth makes you free, that we're a republic based on God, liberty, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all. It's crazy to me that we've been divided this successfully. So if you love God and you love your country, you'll subscribe, tap the bell, join me where I talk truth, facts, and optimism every morning. I lift people up no matter what we have to go through from here on out. We'll be together. It's better together than apart. Militia Man says, I think it still could be the fourth quarter of 2025. Does the rear settle, meaning when it happens? This is the fourth quarter. We're in it, right? So he thinks it's now. He talks about the real effective exchange rate. He's been the only one that really talks about that. And I like that because it's a real effective exchange rate, which I think is the 481 that I discussed just previously. He said it might settle somewhere around 3 times SDR. We're going to find out. Every step of what I'm talking about is documented. What they've been doing is primarily executed, in my view, already. The CBI has reserves, $112 billion worth. They have compliance through all the new systems, international standards. Their next move is to be an effective adjustment like they did in 2023. It's going to be immediate. I agree with Militiaman and everything he said. So I go through all the details too, and everything I share is documented. Like the Forex rate is already loaded at all the telemetry FX letters, and they're all the institutional are tied into that Forex system where it's already preloaded at 481.01. Maybe he missed that. Maybe everybody missed it. I don't know, but I'm the one who talks about it exclusively. Frank 26, I think Sudani is about to give you Iraqi citizens a date, not a rate. He said he thinks it's in order to pacify the Iraqi citizens and receive the vote he needs. And maybe at the start of the year, all this can come together. But we have another scenario, one that Trump has painted, where it can happen right now without a second thought. I'm going for the happening now. Everybody needs it now. Trump knows that. And I think he's going to, bless his people with this. Bruce, when the Forex comes up Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock Eastern, we should have new rates. That's what we've always thought, that it might happen overnight on a Sunday night, Forex. He goes, I know what the rate's going to be. President Trump set that up with Iraq to give us the highest rate available. And that is so true of the dong as well. And it's true of the dinar. So according to some of the redemption centers that Bruce talks about, you should bring everything there. Even if you have XRP on a hardware ledger, you should bring it there. You decide. Do you want to take everything to one place with strangers? You decide. Otherwise, pinned comment down below. Keep your hardware wallets where they are in your house, just like your gold and silver should be kept in your house. Don't take them anywhere and get money for them. You should keep your assets diversified. That's my opinion only. This is not financial advice. Mountain Goat, we should see some movement on the project to remove the zeros this month. Will Iraq begin the swap out of the 3-0 notes for the lower denoms? Not until after the rate changes, in my opinion. But they were told by their CBI contact that by removing the zeros should bring most of this currency into the banks. I was also told there would be an incentive to do so. We were told in the news from the CBI in connection with the article about removing the zeros that the issue of a lack of liquidity would be resolved soon. This was their words, not mine. I don't agree with the lack of liquidity because Iraq's bank is digital. And it's been certified as being the most up-to-date banking system in the world. And I've covered that extensively on my channel. Nobody else has covered it to that level of detail because nobody used to be an auditor with Pricewaterhouse like I was on the partner track. Frank 26 says the banks now know what's going on and they're preparing you for it. They're no longer lying to you. That's not true. Some banks are still lying to you. Be careful. I say don't even call the banks right now, but get my strategy so that when it is time to call the banks, you'll know exactly what to say. You'll have the scripts before, after, and during your exchange. Amen. Let's see. Samson article, wars have hampered it. A proposal to establish a sovereign wealth fund for Iraq and invested in development projects. That's a moot point. Iraq is sovereign already. Everybody said it. The World Trade Organization has said it. The World Bank has said it. The International Monetary have said it. I've covered all those articles, 17 to 31 articles every day for the past 3 years. So you could catch up by looking at my Dinar playlist that's going to be in the top corner. I've covered it extensively, more than anybody else has. Sandy Ingram, the Central Bank of Iraq signed a cooperation agreement with the National Bank of Kuwait. What makes this agreement important is that I talked about this morning. She's wrong. She's misled. She's looking at one tree instead of seeing the bigger picture. Nothing against her. I don't even know her. I hope she doesn't get offended by me saying that, but we can have different opinions and still be on the same boat. Frank 26, the younger Iraqi generation is at least 20 years behind. They've never seen coins. They've never seen lower notes. They've seen a monetary reform. They've never had a government that actually is not corrupt. All of this is new for them. That's why the exposure of the new exchange rate and the lower notes has to be done very carefully and sensitively. And Frank goes, I don't care how long it takes. I care for it to come out perfectly. It cannot be done incorrectly. As much as I'm waiting, I'm also seeing the reality of the waiting because it's so close. Frank, I agree. It's very close. But I think we have power in our prayers and we can pray it in. Because God told me to tell you it's already done. So in the spiritual realm, it's done. We just have to walk it out. And what do you do while you're waiting for a big blessing, a wealth transfer? You work on your mindset. I cover that. You work on preparing for it. I've covered that with the 3 steps. And you get yourself ready mentally, physically, and spiritually. My shakes will get your body in health so you can be healthy like I am and look younger at 60 than most do. Fun Lou even said, here is particularly negative. I have been told that it will be seeing a rate changing from a possible 380 on the upscale. They could sustain a 480 with ease, but should test the waters first. At any rate, they would likely to come out as the premier currency of the world and higher than Kuwait. Now, that's the first time I've ever heard Fun Lou give this any credit, but they are an investor, I think. So I'm thinking this is a good change. Everybody's on the same page. How do you feel? Are you on the same page with us? It's done. God bless. I'll see you later. Be careful the words you speak. You should be speaking in alignment with it's done instead of we're still waiting. Bye.